Hi, this is Dan O'Leary, your Washington Township Supervisor, and I'd like you to think positively for just a moment. Think about Washington Township and all the great reasons why you live here, from beautiful, quality housing to the new high school and its very progressive curriculum, to the outdoor amenities like, Stony Creek Metro Park and the Macomb Orchard Trail and all the orchards that we all enjoy, and all the great restaurants that are coming into town. Think about our great emergency services, fire, ambulance, police, and the fact that all three of those millages are operating below voter-approved maximums. Think about our decreasing crime rate over the last 10 years and the hugely incredible financial turnaround we've had here. We have the highest property values in the county. We have the sixth lowest millage rate. We have no legacy costs whatsoever, and those are the things that destroy a lot of towns. We have a AA plus bond rating, and overall in financial condition, we are very, very strong and with a great future ahead of us. And of course, we're one of the governments that has helped chase out corruption from Macomb County so that your government works for you. Now you put all that in perspective and think about many of the people running for office. There are people running for office right now that seem to want to believe the worst about Washington Township. In fact, they marginalize Washington Township. They don't even want it to have its own identity. They almost seem to bet against our community with all their negativity and their anti-Washington talk. Apparently, betting against Washington is their platform. And I got to ask you, I love Washington. I love living here. I can't believe I get to live here, and I hope you feel just as strongly about it as I do. So I got to ask you, why would someone think they should serve a community that they seem to hate so much? If you want to be in government for Washington Township, you need to love this community, and you need to come at the job with that attitude, because it's not always an easy job. Rather than turning our community over to a bunch of people who attack it on social media and are nasty and the loudest people on social media sometimes, I'm asking you to consider putting the government in the hands of people who truly love it and have shown that love by immersing themselves in volunteerism and other service in this community. Take the treasurer role. Mike Nicely is our current treasurer. Wonderful man. Many of you know him. You know him from always wearing the camera around his neck at the kids' sporting events. You know him from Meals on Wheels and St. Baldrick's and a whole bunch of other charitable things, and WBRW and everything else. This is a guy who has immersed himself in this community. And if you want to serve on our board, you really have to love the community, like Mike does. Look what he's done in his term. He's improved practices and improved customer service. He's increased the number of ways you can pay your bill for your convenience. And the entire time, he has watched over your money, because that is the main task of a treasurer, to make sure it is properly invested and safe at all times. Mike's a great treasurer, and I'm asking you to make sure that he gets into office again. For the clerk's position, you have a number of people running, and a couple of them are my friends, but this isn't about friendship. This is about who's the best person for the job. And what's the one main quality you need in a clerk? It's trust. You cannot put your elections in the hands of someone who's untrustworthy. Who do you trust more than Stan Babinski, a man you've entrusted your kids to over the years? Stan is a realtor, runs a successful business. His wife is here in town with a successful business. And Stan has been immersed in this community, loves this community, from the Goodfellas to the Boys and Girls Club that became the Metro Detroit Youth Clubs, to the St. Baldrick's, to the Minions fundraising, and on and on and on. In fact, if you want to think about Stan, the easiest way to think about charities and Stan is, what charities hasn't he been involved in our local community? Because he's always giving back, always coaching, always doing the football games with the kids and the announcing and all that. He is always there. He's immersed himself in our town because he loves our town. And you trust him with your kids. Everyone knows and trusts Stan. Stan is critical to me as a trustee today because he's on one of the committees that are important for infrastructure decisions, and I need him. I need that to continue because I rely on him. So I'm asking you, when it comes to clerk, go with someone you trust. I want Stanley. For trustee, there are 4 trustee positions in addition to the 3 officer positions. And you got a lot of people to choose from. Now, I got to ask you, do you want the kind of people that spend all their time using fake IDs on social media, denigrating our community and attacking people and that sort of thing, working through anonymous Facebook pages because, frankly, they're cowards? And several of the candidates meet that quality. Or you could choose from people who, again, love our community and immerse themselves in it. Gary Kopp, current trustee, running for trustee again, retired Army Sergeant, retired engineer, member of the Knights of Columbus and other local community groups. Gary's involved. He loves our community. And he serves you well as a trustee. Just like Stan, he's on a critical infrastructure committee that helps me make good decisions for you. I need him. I need him to help make good decisions so that we serve you well. So I'm asking you to restore Gary to his role, Gary Kopp to his role when you vote. But there's some new faces on the horizon, and I think you're going to like those faces. There's a lady named Cindy Olson. She's a business owner who has been involved in volunteering with the schools and Meals on Wheels and other things. And she's level-headed. She's conservative, fiscally conservative. She's actually with the Macomb County Executive Committee for the Republicans. And she'll bring that financial perspective and that conservative perspective to the board. And we need to keep that because that's one of the reasons we've been so successful. So I'm asking for you to support Cindy Olson as well. The next person I'm asking you to support is Dan Detkowski. He's a purchasing agent, a procurement guy, has great financial skills, conservative mentality, and he has immersed himself in this community and served on the Zoning Board of Appeals. He has served on the library board, and he served with multiple charities in town, and he's also a precinct delegate. Dan's a good choice, and I'm asking you to give me Dan, again, to keep our financial focus. And of course, then there's Gayleen Hunter, who is also very deeply involved in the state and the county GOP. She's a retired business owner, grandmother, and someone who can bring a good perspective to this community of what the people want. Again, though, a fiscal conservative, keeping our board on the right track. These are the kinds of people who are volunteers, people who have financial sense, people who are good people, who are not here to denigrate our community, but are here to be the adults in the room, keeping us on the right track and improving services and keeping our money right and building our community. Because, you know, the work's not done yet. I mean, we've got a lot more to do. We've got, you know, water lines we still have to drag to parts of town to make sure there's fresh drinking water in areas that really don't have it. And also good fire protection in areas that really don't have it. We need that water. So there's more work to be done there. We've got to continue this building out of our fire services to make sure we have the right infrastructure in the right places so that our community over the decades is safe. We have pathways we want to continue building out. We've done a good job getting things kick-started, but we've got way more areas to do so that we can make this a good, walkable, healthy environment for you. We've got a lot of people who have trouble with Wi-Fi, and we don't quite have the solution yet, but we're thinking through some options, talking to some experts, and in this term, we're going to try to tackle that issue. No guarantees, because it's a tough one. But we're going to try to tackle that issue and figure out how to get Wi-Fi to more parts of town that don't have it today. And one of the things that's really important to me is attracting new business because they help pay the bills for you. So we're going to keep trying to attract new businesses to our village district, new restaurants, shops, that sort of thing. It helps pay the bills for you. One of the most important things in the next 4 years is to continue building upon a positive community identity. And that's one that's been hard to do because we have so many of these naysayers out there that are constantly trying to bring Washington down, betting against it while trying to get a job at the township board. We need to build on our identity and make this a wonderful community place. And I need this board to focus on that and focus on building that spirit and that individual identity. That's really important for the long-term health and happiness in this community. So I'm asking you to remember, we have all those things to focus on. I need a board that can help do those and be the adults in the room and get it done. So I'm asking you to support those people: Gary Kopp, Cindy Olson, Dan Dukowski, Gayleen Hunter, Mike Nicely, and Stanley Babensky. And if you would be so kind, support me again for supervisor, because I am really proud of where we've come and how we've come from where we were. And I think I've got more to contribute. On August 4th, when you vote, vote for the people that love your community, because those are the people that will serve it well. I'm Dan O'Leary, your Washington Township Supervisor. Thank you for letting me serve.